And live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, you're listening to another episode of You're Human and I'm Dakota Meyer. How excited are we? It's Tuesday, September 5th. Here we are, episode 24. This is the call-in show where there's no filters. There's no, we can talk about anything where nothing's off the record. It's all about just getting better, right? It's all about challenging those thoughts and pushing each other to be better. If you want to call in, it's a call-in show, 512-523-5609, episode 24. Dang knives.
What do you got going on this week?
Well, so I leave tomorrow. I'm going to fly out to Hoover, Alabama, and going to go out there and got a competition. Firefighter Challenge. It's the Nationals. So really excited. So if you live in the Hoover, Alabama area, it's free to the public. So come down and watch it. Watch some of the, bring your kids. You want to come down and see, just guys and men and women. You want to talk about, I promise you this, if you have children or you need some inspiration or somebody to look up to, you can come to one single place and you're going to find a shit ton of people. I mean, I go there because I look up to all of them. So really an awesome thing.
What's your prep been like going into it?
I'm going to be honest. I've been traveling a lot. Been on the road, still been working out, been training, but not been training as intensely as I was before the last one. Just really haven't had the time. And, it's hard to train for this on the road, but still been training, still been getting after it, and that's it. Hey, it's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Dakota, what's up, man? It's Billy from Long Island.
What's up, bro?
How are you, man? How you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
Good. Just saw your podcast come up, so I figured I'd call in.
Hell yeah. What's going on, bro?
It's funny. I just saw something on Twitter. Redacted. It's a news channel I follow, and it just had like a little a survey. They asked the question: should every American 18 years old, once you turn 18, if you're physically and mentally able, serve in the military?
No.
So I of course, I voted yes, but so. When you vote, it tells you what the voting percentage is at this point.
Yeah.
So it said only 34% said yes, and like 60-something percent said no.
I agree with the no. I'll tell you this, the last thing I want serving the country is people who don't want to serve it.
Well, here's my take. I understand that, but here's my take on a different level. Like, of course, I served. I told you, I was in Cherry Point in 87, 89. I don't think there's anything wrong with people having to serve their nation. And here's my thoughts about that is, why should the few carry the burden for the many?
Well, then, if everybody does it, then the few aren't respected as much.
Well, they do it in Israel, right? Isn't it, everyone serves in Israel, I think, except the real religious Orthodox don't have to, but
Israel has bombs coming in. They're fighting on their own homeland, though. You know what I mean?
Well, see, but that's what I'm getting at. Here's my idea.
Yeah.
I have up against 2 years after high school to go serve either 2 years in the military or 2 years in the Department of Homeland Security.
Mm-hmm.
Serve the homeland. You could go do security on the border. You could do security at the ports. And then you do your 2 years, you serve honorably, and then you get 2 years of college.
What if you don't serve honorably? What if you say fuck it and you buck the system? What do you do with them?
That's what happens. What happens to people in the military that go in there and screw up and they get big chicken dinners and dishonorable discharge?
Yeah, and then what they do is they get out and they claim. And then what they do is they get out and they claim disability and they say the military fucked them up and they've never done anything and now we pay for them for the rest of their life.
Well.
I love it, right? Like I think what we should do is guys who serve, men and women who serve, they should do a better job at talking about how awesome serving was and then make it to where people want to join and serve. instead of getting out and talking shit and blaming the military for their problems and and crying about that, that they have to work after they get out of the military, right? Like, I mean, I think that with the way the veteran population is right now, I don't think it would be good to do that. I mean, you talk about we'd have more people on unemployment and drawing disability.
Yeah.
But I hear
don't
you.
You think it's unfair, though, Dakota, that, so many people, what really irks me is that everyone, they're so fast as throwing, I got my rights. I got rights for this. And I say to these people, well, are you willing to fight? Or are you willing to serve and defend those rights? Or does somebody else have to go and defend and serve for your rights?
I mean, what do you? I mean, but again, like,
pay their dues.
I'll say this. I mean, did anybody nobody forced you to serve, right? Like I had the opportunity. I had the opportunity to serve the United States of America at one of the highest capacities. And I find honor in that. You know what I mean? And so I also have the title veteran. I also have the title United States Marine that those people will never know. And so for me, man, I also get, I can walk around with my shoulder proud and, with my chest up and proud to know that. And when I look at those people, I don't look at them and think of, gosh, what'd you do for this? I look at it as you know what? You get to do that because of all the badass men and women that I know who are willing to protect your right to do that.
I agree with you on that, and I understand that.
You know what I mean? It's like we get to, why? How could a sheepdog protect sheep if he hated sheep?
Well, not everybody's going to be able to get into the military anyway, because I'm sure that there'll be people with medical and
for sure
psychological deferment. So not everybody would be able to do it, but a great amount of people would be able to do it. And you're not forced. It's not like one guy said on the Twitter thread, they were like, "Oh, look what happened during Vietnam. That didn't work out too well." I said, "Listen, that's a different thing. Vietnam, there was a draft to go fight an unpopular war that the mostly rich kids were able to go to college and get out of it."
Yeah, look at Donald Trump. You talk about a war dodger. Look at Donald Trump.
Well, he's not the only one. Biden and a lot of these other guys too. They all have deferment.
Yeah, but Biden doesn't run around and he doesn't. Listen. I don't like Biden. I don't like Biden more than I don't like Trump. But Biden didn't walk around as a fucking tough guy either. Trump walked around and tried to get the military popular opinion, and Trump's a fucking draft dodger.
Well, no, you can't call him a draft dodger if there was no draft that he escaped.
No draft that he escaped.
What are you talking about? You talking about
Vietnam? Yeah. Yeah, he had something on his feet or some shit like that. Some bunions or some shit.
All right, but he had a legitimate thing. I mean,
but anyways, so back to it. I just I agree. But serving, serving is not about doing what's. I hear you on it. I think that the idea, the theory on it is good, but I also think that you will ruin the quality of military by enforcing these people to go there.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know what it is? It's just weird, though. I just think that society makes a big deal, and I think they tell kids from an early age that you have to go to college, and if you don't go to college, get a degree, you're not going to be successful. And then we all know that most of the kids that go to college and get these useless degrees don't even go into a field that they get these degrees from. I mean, there are certain jobs, you do need some kind of education and college degree to do, obviously, lawyer, doctor, engineer, chemist, blah, 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 and all those other things. So, I mean, basically, a lot of these kids are just wasting their time. They're being told, then they go in debt with college.
Yeah.
And my thing is, all right, hey, go serve the military. There's nothing wrong with serving. There's nothing wrong with serving your nation. And then, you know what? Then you get a little thing on the back end. We'll give you 2 years of free college. Whatever school you can get into, we'll pay for it. You want to go to Harvard? If you can get into it, you got 2 years on the arm. I think that's a pretty decent deal. I'm not expecting them to do anything for nothing.
I mean, I hear you.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, listen, you know what? Both of us are sitting here talking about a bunch of hypotheticals.
Yeah, that probably will never happen anyway.
What are you doing today?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, just brought the kids back. I had to get some blood work done. You know, they're starting school tomorrow. Here in Long Island, they start tomorrow. Other than that, you know, I work security at a local school district. I don't want to tell you where.
Yeah, for sure. Don't.
You know, I'm a retired NYPD cop. I retired 7 years ago, actually.
Hell yeah!
So
you got out just in time.
Yeah, I got out in 16. You know, and did 20 years. And,
Man.
But I wanted to ask you also. I forgot to ask you last time I spoke to you. Hey, have you ever been to New York? And if you have you been down to the museum at all, or the? Hey, is that unbelievable when you walk into that museum?
It's incredible.
And you see those beams and all those artifacts that are down there.
It's incredible.
I mean, right? Doesn't it like? I don't know. I've been down. I only went down there once since they built it. And even like I remember as a kid going to the Twin Towers a lot of times. My brother brought me up there on an observation deck when I was a little kid, and to stand by the fountains to see the footprints.
Yeah, man.
And then I look up and realize, holy damn, man, there was 2 huge buildings here and they're gone.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. It's crazy, man.
If you ever been there and what you thought about that.
Yeah, I've been there, man. I've been there a bunch of times. And it's amazing. I mean, it's an amazing place, right? It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing tribute to all the heroes.
The anniversary is coming up next week, 22 years, and time flies, man.
Time flies.
But listen, man, it was great talking.
Hell yeah, bro. Appreciate you, man. I hope you have a good day. Semper Fi, brother.
Bye-bye.
What a good guy. I love that dude.
Yeah, cool dude for sure. I got a question here from Facebook. Any recommendations for veterans that are struggling to find their purpose after getting out of the service?
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, get around people who have a purpose, right? Like start dialing it in, start looking inward as to what you want to do. You know, me and you just got done talking about, you know, building your box, about, you know, making, like, you got to start somewhere, right? Like, and you know, look, I would reach out to the Independence Fund. The Independence Fund, an incredible organization that's all about helping veterans. And so reach out to them and see if they can help you on it.
Got a question here. Last episode, you talked about how changing the world was a pillar of your box. What is your box?
You know, so my box is to, you know, to help people, right? It all comes down to change the world, right? That's my why inside of my what. But to help people, to, you know, to be an example, to be strong, and to, you know, that's my 3. What is my 4th one? I had it the other day.
Is it physically fit?
No, because the physically fit goes into changing the world, right? So to be an example to the world and to my kids, and I'll have to look at my other one. Be strong, be an example. What's my 4th one? I'll have to look at my 4th one. But anyways, that's what it comes down to, right? And it comes down to making sure that it fits within that. And that's how I look at all my decisions and what I say and what I do, right? And that's, you know, that's what I love doing.
Got a question from IG. How do you overcome depression and anxiety?
I
know it's a heavy one.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to how bad do you want to change it, right? Like, you know, me, like, it goes back to finding what your purpose is, finding what fulfills you, right? And I literally just got off a conversation before this podcast, 10 minutes before it. And, you know, when we're looking for things to fulfill us that are external, like, then that means that those things that fulfill us will also be what take us down. So you have to be able to fulfill yourself internally and have your own internal plan. And, you know, north never changes north, no matter which way you turn the compass. And so you have to have that north in you.
Ooh, I like that. Another question from IG. Are you happy?
Oh, happy as it gets. I mean, every day I wake up, I have the best day of my life. That is like not an understatement.
What does changing the world look like to you?
Empowering people to know how great they are, right? Like, empowering people to get back out and to be smiling and to see that there's, for every negative thing they have going, they have 10 positive. I believe in changing the world by empowering people. If you empower people and remind them that they have the power to change whatever situation they're in to make it better, then you're going to change the entire world.
You're changing the world in real time.
I hope.
How do you make something right when it was misconstrued by your wife?
Well, first off, I would say, why do you care? Like, why do you care, right? Like, first off, your wife doesn't make anything, right? Like that's a complex one. There's no what your wife makes right or wrong. You don't make right and wrong. There's right and wrong. It's called the truth.
I think that answers that question. Yeah, that was an IG Q&A right there. Another one. What were the hardest and easiest parts of being a Marine?
I would say the hardest part is probably, some of the downtime, right? Like the just, trying to find a way to keep yourself occupied and challenging yourself when there's nothing going on. There's a lot of downtime. And I would say some of the most challenging, or that was probably the most challenging. Probably the easiest parts is, it's easy to measure up when you're a Marine because you're around a bunch of people who are fucking badasses,
What do you mean by measure up?
Like, it's easy to like all the hard stuff that people look at is the easiest part because everybody else is doing it with you. It's all shared suffering.
I like that. How do you military guys manage to keep your psyche after the battles you've been through?
It's like, it's your job, right? Like it's your job. You're mentally prepared for it, right? Like, it's all like, when you're not like, when your mind is off, it's usually driven by emotions, right? And a lot of times we have to be emotionally mature. And that's why like the military's got this good sequence of exposing you to things that like, they are, exercise you emotionally to make you emotionally stronger. You should be, right? And you should be able to handle situations and be able to prioritize them after facing these hard things over and over. After you, like, when you face the hardest thing you've ever gone through, like use running, for example. The first time, if you think about running 10 miles, if you've never ran before, you're like, fuck, man, how am I going to run 10 miles? But after you run 10 miles, running 10 miles is nothing. Now it's 15 miles, right? So always exposing yourself to harder things definitely matures you physically, mentally, and emotionally.
This is kind of a loaded question. How do we change the direction our country is headed?
Well, we start by changing, and it starts with us. The most impactful thing that you can be is an example. So it starts with us, and then you replicate that.
What supplements are you taking while training for the firefighting challenge?
None.
I knew that was the answer.
None.
What made you choose firefighting over being a cop?
I got asked this question the other day, and I love cops. I think cops have the hardest job on the face of the planet, other than being a mother. So to me, I felt like I had already done the trying to figure out who's good and bad and the accountability piece. And I just did not want to do that any longer. And so for me, being a firefighter, I don't have to figure out who's right, who's wrong, who's at fault, who's not. I get to show up and I'm just there to help everybody and whoever's in need, right? And so for me, like I did not want to have to figure out who deserved it and who didn't. And I just wanted to be able to show up and just help people.
Got a question on Facebook. What are your thoughts on TRT?
Oh, I think it's absolutely necessary, right? So, testosterone replacement therapy. I think that in the world that we live in, with everything that we eat and all this craziness, like I think that no matter what you do, if you're depressed, if your hormones are out of whack, like you can't overcome that. Like that's not in your mind, right? Like, so, I think Are there like ways to spike that? Absolutely, right? Like there's things that you can do like working out and shit like that that's going to help rejuvenate that. But if your hormones are out of whack, like that's like, man, it's like the foundation of your house being out of whack. Like, you're going to have to fucking fix that the right way.
Want to remind people that this is a call-in show. Give us a call at 512-523-5609. Our lines are wide open.
Wide open.
Got another question for you.
Let's send it.
What do you want your final words to be?
Fuck. No. No, what do I want my final words to be? I don't know. Like, I hope I'm getting busy somewhere, right? Like, I hope I'm getting down. I hope it's like some cool story.
Was that a dark question? People on Facebook are like, that was pretty dark.
What I want my final words to be? Like I'll probably go out by dying by saying something stupid like, you can't die if you don't agree to die, Like, I'll probably be trying to still fight it like to that fucking point of like, nope, if I don't give in, it ain't gonna happen. Hey, it's Dakota on the Your Human podcast.
Hey, good afternoon, Dakota. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. My name's Anthony from New York. I did 4 years in the Marine Corps, 09 to 13.
Hell yeah.
I have a lot of respect. For you. Read your book. Follow you on social media.
Cool,
I got
man.
a question for you.
Yeah. What's up?
So I've been out for a while now, about 10 years. Went through a divorce and all that. How do you kind of find your way? How do you find purpose in your life once you got out? And I know you've dealt with some personal issues as well. I was just kind of wondering, like, how do you find your purpose? How do you find that light at the end of the tunnel where you don't feel like Groundhog Day, day after day, once you got out?
Yeah, it's such a great question. For me, like, I really just had to dig in internally and look in the mirror and say, what makes me happy? What do I like doing? What was I put on earth to do? Like, what is it that I'm good at? Right. And then start building off of that, if you dissect your time in the Corps, like for me, let me just give you my example. I was like, well, I like being a sniper. And then when I think about it and I challenge that thought, it was like, well, I mean, small percentage of my time was even shooting or fighting. And then I challenged it even more. And what I came up with was I just wanted to make the world a better place that I was part of. And so then I just replicate that whenever I get out. Does that make sense?
Totally. Makes perfect sense. Yes, sir.
Like you got to think about like who you are is your core. Being a Marine was just a subtitle to who you are. Being a son, being a father, being a husband, those are just the results of your actions of who you are. So what do what fulfills you? Where do you add value to the world and to people? And once you really dial that in, dude, that's what gets it right. Like what about being a husband? What was good for you in that? Like why, like, because if you don't value a title, then you don't care if you lose it.
Oh, exactly. That makes, yeah, that's the nail on the head right there.
So what did you value being a Marine, right? Like, what did you value? And like, once you start identifying the common denominators of why, after getting out, what do you miss? Right? Like what is it about not being in that makes you miss it? And once you really identify that, right? Like, then you can go and find that.
Oh, awesome.
What do you think?
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, man. And here's what I'll tell you is what I think keeps veterans in this, like like it's almost, and this sounds terrible, but I'm gonna say it anyways. It's almost like the guy, you know, the uncle that gets out of high school and he just talk like those people who still just talk about the sports they played in high school.
Yes.
Like
That's exactly where you're going. Yes.
Isn't that kind of what veterans sound like?
Yes.
And it's like, well, why don't you figure out what you're going to do next instead of just living your whole life talking about what you did?
Yes, living in the past.
Yeah, right. And so it's like, man, I was a Marine. I loved being a Marine. You know, and I'll tell you this phrase is almost a phrase that's as wrong. So you remember that t-shirt phrase that said like, you know, losing's not an option?
Yes.
Yeah, that was wrote by somebody who never even got in the game because I mean losing's 100%, right? Or failure is not an option. I mean, everybody fails. But also this thing that was put into our minds, once a Marine, always a Marine was just a recruiting title. You know, if you get out and you become a civilian and you still try to be a Marine, how does that work out?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, dude, I love being a Marine.
Exactly.
I love being a Marine, but I can't imagine going through my entire life. In 4 years of my life are what identified the next 60 that I hope to live.
No, you're exactly right. And I've never been that person like, oh, never been anything like that. I just, I don't know. It's just like you lose, I'm sure you hear it a lot, but you lose like that brotherhood, that feeling of belonging. And then you kind of get out and it's just like, you're in this vast ocean kind of by yourself trying to navigate it. So,
man, but you're not.
It's kind of weird.
But you're not, bro. Because guess what? Like, you live in a community, right?
Yep.
I mean, what do you do for work?
I drive truck.
Hell yeah. So you're out there driving trucks, right? Like you're literally one of the, I mean, you're the veins, like you're the cells of the backbone of America. Like people don't get to, like, you're that important to America, driving trucks, right? You need to find a way to get some good people around you. Do you feel like you're on an island?
Oh, you're right.
Do you feel like you're on an island?
Not a little bit. I mean, I'm home every night with my job.
Yeah.
But just kind of like, you know, live in an apartment, live away from family a couple hours in both directions.
Yeah.
I try to go to the gym, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just that, it's just like, it's tough to explain. I know
you're in a funk, bro.
Belonging 24/7.
You're in a funk.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
You're in a funk. We got to get you out of the funk.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you like driving a truck?
I do enjoy it.
You enjoy it?
Yep.
Okay, so that's good. Do you like your gym?
Do I like my gym? Yeah, it's nice.
But what about the people? Like, you got people around you? You know what I mean? Like, man, we need people.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think it's just not having the people around.
Hell yeah, bro. That's it. That's it. I mean, you seem like a good fucking dude. Do you think you're a good guy?
I believe I am.
Well,
others feel that way.
Well, I mean, would you hang out with you?
Oh, for sure.
Well, fuck, man. Go find people who want to fucking hang out with you. Go join a. Do you like to run?
I like it, but I'm no good at it.
Well, hey, so let me tell you what I do is I find the shit I don't like and I'm not good at, and I force myself to do it. I hate running, and I'm going to run a 100-mile race December 2nd and 3rd.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so go do something you don't like, be the new guy, and dude, go find people. People love to teach other people. People love to be needed. Like, let me tell you the one thing that everybody has in common. Everybody wants to be needed. So if you can find something to where you can go find people who can teach you something, bro, you're automatically in.
Awesome.
Hell yeah, bro. Well, listen, you're the fucking man. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. Well, you're the man. I appreciate you, brother. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you, Dakota. I appreciate your time. Thank you for everything you've done for us.
Thank you, brother. See ya.
Good dude right there.
Man, that's so many people. So many people.
Yeah, I relate to that quite a bit. Feeling on an island, loneliness.
If you're on an island, it's because you put yourself there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, micro decisions, I guess. You just woke up one day and you're on an island, is what it feels like.
Yeah, because you built these fucking false realities. Like, why would you not hang out with people?
I know some of the most fun times are with people, for sure. Happiness is only real when shared, they say.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, like there's a reason that there's villages. There's a reason there's communities. There's a reason. I mean, like that's the way the world's supposed to be. And it's like, fuck, man, like get around people that make you better.
What are your thoughts on, I'm asking this, what are your thoughts on loneliness? Like, is there an epidemic? And like to go full Jordan Peterson about it, like, is there like a male loneliness like going on? Do you see that?
No, I mean, I think everybody's lonely, right? Like I was telling a guy this morning, we were running. And here's where this is what's crazy. If you took out the time that you spend on TV or social media, and you put that towards going and getting with people in person, how much time would you have to spend with people?
More on that in a bit.
Hey, it's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Hey, Dakota. What's going on, man? This is my name's Chris. I'm a Marine and veteran as well.
Oh, yeah. What's up, man?
Not much. Actually, I was one of the guys that posted on there, and you've talked a little bit about it already, just finding your purpose. And,
yeah.
Man, dude, it's fire. The grind is fucking there, because even those people that get out and trying to find that purpose, you know what I mean? Just real quick synopsis. I know you ain't got much time, but
man, I got plenty of time for you.
I built a house with my dad when I got out, went and jumped and worked at the prison, correctional officer for 6 months. This guy tried to shank me. I painted him orange, told the lieutenant I'm going to get myself in trouble. Stepped away from that, went to college, got my bachelor's degree, went to college, went to get my master's degree a semester before graduating in clinical psychology. Because one, actually help veterans. I just realized, my passion wasn't wanting to be in a fucking office all day, right?
Yep.
So I just stepped away from that a semester from graduating, went and worked at CPS as an investigator, trying to help children. And come to find out, when you deal with infant deaths and biological parents and grandparents who do bad things to their children,
yep.
have to sit there and interview them, just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
What I mean?
So what's the problem?
When people try to find that purpose and that camaraderie, and then just some of the injuries. I loaded bombs. I was aviation ordnance. IOUS. Loaded bombs. My whole life when I was there. So the damage it does on your wrist, shoulders, back. Trying to go to fire department, police academy, stuff like that. It just physically just wasn't a smart move for me. Want to maintain what I got left physically.
Yeah.
So that being said, trying to find that camaraderie and like-minded people, it's difficult when you either can't perform at the level you need to in those kind of careers, or you go to careers that have something similar, but there's so much shit that you just don't want to kind of be consumed with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it sounds like to me you're doing just fine.
I am right now. I haven't had a job. I won't say about a year. I've been spending my time with my kids.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be home. But it's at a point now where it's like, okay, they're back in school, summer's over, and you just kind of lose your mind. And so just.
Well, what do you want to do?
What's that?
What do you want to do?
Oh, man.
You seem
make
like
a difference.
Well, but you listen, it sounds like, if you go to a buffet and you've never ate before, don't you think there's just as much value in figuring out what you don't like as there is in what you like?
Absolutely.
So guess what you've been doing? It seems like to me, you're a smart motherfucker, right? And I'll tell you why. Because you identify what you don't like about it, but it seems like to me you're getting more dialed in every time you go through these experiences and you're learning. You just ain't found the right thing yet, but it doesn't sound like to me you're ready to quit. But I also don't know that you know exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, no, I can't pinpoint that. It's more the camaraderie, being around like-minded people. You know, I mean, not everybody's a true war hero, you know, like yourself, but everybody, you know, who served, you know, as
Man, listen. You ain't got it. Listen, to me, I don't care what you've done. You me tell you what I care about. I care about what you're doing. You getting after it today. You getting out there making the world a better place. You going out there. Listen, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're a garbage man. I don't care if you've gone and you've been on SEAL Team 6 and getting after it. Like, what'd you do today to make the world a better place, right? And I'll tell you this: that's the kind of guy you sound like. You want to make the world a better place. You care about people.
Very much so.
You do, don't you?
Yes.
Man, look, hey, you want me to tell you what the greatest thing is? Is the world is in high demand for somebody like you. And like, you just got to keep going out there. I mean, how old are you?
30, just turned 38.
38. You ain't old. Man, I'll tell you, you can do a ton of shit. It depends on what you want to do though. Like that's your biggest problem is that you have too many things you can do. You're talented and it's playing against you right now. And until you identify what it is that you want to do, like none of these jobs, you're not leaving any of them because you're surprised. You didn't leave CPS because of the bullshit. Like you didn't leave you didn't quit psychology because of any other thing. Like none of that. You me tell you why you ain't found the right thing?
What's that?
Because you haven't found something that you believe in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, you put up with bullshit. Like, look, you're, dude. I mean, like, bullshit's a secondhand thing to you. Like bad is secondhand thing to you. You know, you're 38 years old, man. Like, you can do whatever. You're a smart guy. You know, you seem to not care to work, right? You're hardworking. You're already ahead of 95% of your competition out there that's in the market, and you got a good heart. It sounds like. So, what you got to figure out. I'll tell you this, if you truly felt like you could fulfill yourself by being a firefighter, you would go do it because there's nothing going to get in the way of you. I can tell by talking to you, you know, any of that. So it's like, you got to do some soul searching on what you believe in, so that you can find what fits in that, you know what I mean? Instead of you trying to fit in everything else.
Yeah, no, I hear you there. And just one thing, location, proximity, that's the huge thing right now. I live out in East Texas and, you know, about 2 hours away from Dallas. Tyler's the closest city to us. And so the things I'm passionate about and want to make those differences, they either will take me away from home and my children, which after 12 years of service, that's one of the reasons I got out.
Yep.
Being a part-time father, I got out and I got full custody of all my kids.
Well, then guess what? I mean, yeah. you got full custody. Can't you move them over with you?
Well, I'm married with my wife now, and she splits time with her ex, with their kids, and so us moving over the next 10 years isn't an option.
Well, so guess what? So then, you know what? And this is admirable. Then you got to figure out, you got to understand that right now, your number one purpose is to be a husband and a father because you've chose those over what's best for you. And guess what? And you got to find a way to fulfill yourself with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
when I started football and going to his games, I mean, couldn't be prouder. Tried to get him to play sports his whole life, and he just wasn't feeling it. So
hey, and guess what? You know what? All those kids that are playing with him, I bet you there's plenty of them that you see out there that need an example of somebody. I mean, think about this, man. In this world, like you talk about the number one factor to our next generation, it's because fathers aren't present. You have obviously put your family, your wife, and your children before any of your dreams and goals and aspirations, and you've made them that much of a priority. So let me tell you what I feel like I'm hearing from you is that, man, you have an opportunity right now to show other kids who their dads aren't there helping them and who aren't there showing them as a priority. You can give your extra time to those kids.
Yeah, was considering trying to volunteer my time with the coaching and going out there and kind of, giving those kids. That was actually something I've been pondering. So,
Why not?
I appreciate it. Well, I initially talked to the head coach for the high school. They've got 4 different teams because it's such a large school.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that they don't take volunteers because of like background and security purposes. And he kind of shooed me off when I volunteered it in one of the meetings I went to. So I just kind of got the message, so to speak.
Well, find a way to find another way, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you're a problem solver.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. Hey, man. Hey, you got a million people who
Hey.
want to talk to you. I appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate you, man. I hope you have a good day.
Hey, you have a blessed day and continued success in your life, bro.
Thanks, brother.
Right.
Man, what a good guy.
What a cool dude.
What a cool guy.
Yeah. Putting his family before his dreams. That's admirable.
Admirable.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely. I wanted to touch up on, you were talking about social media and I guess media,
Yeah.
and then cutting that out. And then you have, what were you saying? You have more time?
People talk about like, oh, I don't have time to go spend time with my friends. And so like, I think that the problem today is that people feel like they're getting fulfillment from other people because they're interacting with them over text. They're interacting with them over social media. They're sending TikToks to each other. And like, I think that we are more digitally connected as we've ever been, but we are physically, mentally, and emotionally as isolated as we've ever been because of that as well. Like when I hear companies who say that they can lead over Zoom, no, you can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Nope, you can't. You can't do it. Promise you can't do it.
Wow. Yeah, man. No, I think there's so much to that. I've cut a lot of distractions out recently, and it's just opened up. I didn't realize how much time I was wasting. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
100%.
Got a question here. What do you want your legacy to be?
Man, I don't really need a legacy. I'll tell you, I just hope that people, a win for me would be just a bunch of people who could say that, you know what, when I was down, Dakota was there for me. Hey, it's Dakota with the Your Human podcast.
Hey, Dakota, how's it going?
What's up?
Hey, bro, this is Xander from Tennessee. I'm currently active duty right now.
What's up,
I've
man?
been following you for not much, man. I've been following you for a hot minute. Appreciate everything you do for our country, dude. But yeah, just to follow up on these last guys that have been kind of talking to you. Man, I tell you, it pretty much amazes me. Like, I get it. I'm not out yet, but if I lose you, I have terrible service.
Yeah, you're all good.
I'm not out yet, but I get their pain and their struggle. But something I do on the weekends, volunteer my time. I'm very active in my church. We have an awesome church family here in Tennessee, and after church services, we do a homeless ministry.
Yeah.
And dude, I tell you what, that has brought me so much joy and so much sense of purpose, just helping them out. And all the guys I work with, they're former operation guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's an amazing thing. So I kind of encourage dudes to go look for that if they can. I'm sure there's some more around in other places, but and then the other thing is like talking about not having that sense of purpose, like finding your identity. Man, it is not just within the uniform. It's I'm a soldier 24/7, right? But for me personally, I'm a child of God first. That's where my identity lies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I 100%, and I definitely like, when I hear people say, I just want to help people and I want to make the world a better place. And then they care how they do that. That doesn't add up either.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so, you know, I feel like we all find out what we're good at, but like if you truly, I mean, if you have the ability to sit around, you know, you got time on your hands, man. I mean, there's plenty of places to be able to help people. There's plenty of people on the face of the planet that need help.
Exactly.
Well, I appreciate you calling, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, bro. I'm kind of shaking right now. Can't a little talking to you.
No, man, it's awesome. Well, thank you for what you do.
Yeah, man. Hopefully one day I get to meet you.
I love that so much. So I hope you have a good day, man. Thank you for what you do.
All right, man.
See you, brother.
You too.
Bye. What a good guy. Smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Glad he made the time to give us a call. So appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I got a question for you coming from me. Someone mentioned this recently on one of these calls. Oh, you know, you're a war hero, so you know, kind of made it seem like it's a little easy for you. You know what I mean? To find your purpose or what have you. What does it feel like to live up to that? You know, people call you a war hero. I feel like me as a friend, like I've put that on you too. Like, you know, well, you're you.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you live up to that? Or like, is there any pressure that comes with that? Or how do you defy that? Or what do you do with that?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm no different than, you know, like I'm no different than anybody else. Yeah. I mean, like the same, like I still have to get up and do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like, these are all choices that I have to make too. And if anything, the only difference in me and versus everybody else is everybody else gets to do these things with no expectations. I have to do these things with some preconceived expectation. Like no matter what I do, I'm never going to be able to live up to the expectations that go along with whatever war hero means in their mind.
Yeah, that's
so I'm always a failure to them.
Yeah.
But you know what? To me, I love it. I used to have a hard time with it. I love it because you know what it does for me? It fucking makes me, it puts the bar higher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bar's high. And so, you know what? This is what people expect of me. And this is how I should fucking handle everything I approach with it.
Yeah. I kind of figured, I just wanted to give you the space to say that, you know, because I've projected that onto you. I'm not the only one, you know, people on the cause as well have been like, you know, we elevate you to an icon status, but that doesn't make you perfect.
No, and you're right. And what you also hear, like when they say that, when I hear them say that, all I hear is them minimalizing the work that I have to put in to be able to be there too.
Yeah, the work that you show up for every day.
Well, you're you. You're you. Like, well, I mean, dude, I wasn't born with something.
Yeah.
I wasn't born with some fucking, you know, ability. Like I have to get up and earn it too. You know what I mean? Like the only difference is I have to earn it on a stage.
Yeah. Someone asks if you feel like you have to live life a certain way being a recipient.
I don't. And you don't know how many times I've heard, I mean, go look at my Instagram, a post that I posted yesterday or yesterday, both. Oh, you're a Medal of Honor recipient. You should live this way. Like that is what people always go to. They use it as you shouldn't say shit. I mean, I'm literally the most arrogant Medal of Honor recipient is what they tell me. You know what? I can't be like, I can't speak my truth. I can't give my opinion. Like, what does that fucking mean? You know what I mean? So no, I don't live up to it. I still get in the ring. You know what I mean? I don't hide behind that medal. You know, that medal doesn't define me. So I'm definitely not going to live by the expectations of that medal. I don't even wear the medal. You know, when people are like, you know, he's the most arrogant Medal of Honor recipient there is. Like I wear at least amount of everybody.
People want you to be a statue.
Bro, you know what? Like, it's just their easy button. You know what I mean?
It's a cop-out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having that conversation with me.
Hey, it's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Hi. Yeah, I was just listening to you. We're talking about that people have expectations of you.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't do anything like what you did, but I did spend a lot of time in so-called elite units. And I spent a shitload of time as a contractor in Iraq.
Hell yeah.
And you come home and people they have this myth of what you should be.
Yeah.
And this myth of what you should believe and how you should act.
Yeah.
And then when you chart your own course, and they don't like that, or it's like you betrayed my expectations of you,
bro. I like you hit the fucking like. I appreciate you saying that because like no matter what I say, like people are gonna be like, oh, he's just trying to position himself as the victim, right? Like nothing I say is right, and so I appreciate you calling and saying that. Yeah, I mean, it's like no, like first off, I didn't, why like where the arrogance comes in is where these people feel like you should answer to them. You talk about narcissists, exactly. Like they call us narcissists.
They own a piece of you. They
own
a piece of you. They own the copyright.
Yeah, like you owe them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, and I just I'm like, well, what fucking do I have to pay to fit into your perception? I paid my fucking dues.
Well, if anybody did, right? I mean, I think we're all paying them, but like, gosh, like I got a down payment a lot bigger than yours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in this big scheme of things, whose opinion should matter more, right? Like I'm not in this pissing contest, but if you're gonna drag me into it,
yeah,
whose opinion should weigh more?
And what gets me is like people that never even served.
Oh,
that have this opinion of how you should live your life and your behavior,
bro.
And I'm like, that would really enrage me.
This level, these people, they call themselves civilian operators. They are like, they have become the people that the Vietnam veterans came back to, right? They are the anti-American, anti-veteran people of our generation is these civilian operators.
Well, it's funny because I'm the guy that called in a couple weeks ago about the civilian operators.
You are?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, right? Like it's became this, it's became this whole, like, I was literally commenting back to people today. They're like, oh, you said you think that civilians shouldn't own body armor. You can't find a quote of me saying that. You don't think that civilians should train. You can't find a quote of me saying that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and I run into like, because you think you can shoot well, then you have this kind of like undertow of contempt because I can do what you can do because I shoot better than you. And I'm like,
yeah,
dude, you couldn't land nav your way across a kitchen table.
Well, first off, you couldn't do it as well as I did, not because you don't have the skills to do it, but because you don't have the internal aspect and fortitude to go do something to serve other than your fucking self. That's the difference in us. Don't like, you can shoot better, you can run better, you can do all that shit, but you don't have the fucking balls to go get in the fucking ring. That's really what it comes down to. You don't have the selfless obligation to serve others that we did. It's really none of this. You can wear body armor, you can run faster, you can do all this. Like it really has nothing to do with that. Like there's no arguing that, right?
Yeah.
But you just don't have the guts to do it.
But yeah, I just wanted to touch on because it's like I don't know how many times I've had to put up with people like, you think this? I'm like, yeah, I'm really pro environment. Well, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? A Blackwater guy can be pro environment.
Hey.
Did that ever occur to you?
Yeah, man. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. So anyway,
Appreciate
I just
you, brother.
wanted to tell you that.
Hey,
you do great work. Take care.
Hell yeah, I hope you have a good day, man. What a good guy.
Bye.
I love that guy.
Yeah, I'm glad he called back. Put a nice bow on that conversation for sure.
What are people over? Are they over there getting fired up or what?
Well, no, not necessarily. I suppose maybe I started this, but someone is asking, you don't feel somewhat special because you're only one in 3,600 or so in this nation's history to be awarded the medal. Like that doesn't make you feel special?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So some people just can't wrap their mind around it.
No, I don't. No, because even if I did say I felt special, let's say I did feel special, somebody would be like, well, you're not special. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what you do.
Oh, shit. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. What makes you feel accomplished?
Getting up every day and chipping away at it 1% better every day, getting up and being productive. Being productive is probably the most fulfilling thing you can ever do.
What gives your life meaning?
What gives my life meaning? making the world a better place, making the community a better place. You know what I mean? Like that's what gives me meaning. Oh, here we go. Hey, it's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Hey, Dakota, it's Terry.
Hey, how are you?
Sorry, I'm trying to mute you on this other phone. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Hey, I just wanted to touch on the well, I'm a retired gunny. So anyway, I wanted to touch on the other caller that was, talking about people that always have something to say. And I just was sitting here chuckling because, try being, a single female Marine and, you've got someone who's always saying, oh, well, I almost joined,
Hey, you got to love those, right?
And it's like, that doesn't matter. Like, we can still talk to each other. You don't have to have almost become a Marine. Like, it's okay.
You really don't. You really don't, right? Like, you don't have to. I don't need your story of, I would have joined, but my dad wouldn't let me. Or I would have joined, but I would have punched a drill instructor in the mouth, right? Like, I can't have people yell at me. Like, you just don't have to say it. Like, I'm happy to have joined. I'm happy that if you didn't join, you didn't have to join, right? Like, I'm happy with that, just like I'm sure you are.
Yeah, exactly. And, I've got a 19-year-old and she just went through the whole thing with the recruiters in the high school.
Yeah.
And they were like, don't you want to make your mom proud? I'm like, you tell them you make your mom proud every day.
Every day.
It's not a pissing contest.
Yeah, the way I really feel about it is like I don't need people who I don't want people who didn't join to feel bad they didn't join. Like, they paid their taxes, right? And they paid my salary. I never served a day for free. And I had an awesome job. I got to do that. And I appreciate their hard work and their tax dollars paying for me to have an opportunity to serve our nation.
Yeah, I've loved my time in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And, no one has to make an excuse to me for why they didn't enlist or why they didn't become an officer or whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't have to have a USMC bumper sticker on their car. They don't have to, it's,
yeah.
I don't know. You had a previous caller that was saying that everyone should enlist, and I respect his opinion, but I don't want to be, I was in, several, my first duty station practically was Desert Storm. I was an 18-year-old private. I didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be with somebody who didn't want to be there.
No, right. Like, the only thing more miserable than being in the military is being in the military with people who don't want to be there.
And especially learning from someone who doesn't want to be there.
100%. Yeah.
You know,
Where do you live at?
I'm in Virginia.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I retired out of Quantico, and now I'm a government civilian working for the Navy.
Awesome. Well,
yeah,
I appreciate you calling in and taking the time. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you taking the call. You're such a motivational speaker, and I appreciate everything you do because you're just so positive all the time. I'm sure you have your own moments, but I appreciate you. I really do.
Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's not going to get any better than that.
Nope. Well, listen, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 24. She was pretty badass. Thank you for tuning in to episode 24. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm going to have to skip next week for the simple fact that I'm going to be on the road until next Friday, but maybe Saturday next week we can knock it out. Going to be on the road, going to be traveling, got all kinds of places to be. So if you're in Hoover, Alabama, make sure to swing by, check out the Firefighter Challenge. We're going to be getting after it Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can find it on the firefighterchallenge.com organization, whatever website. I don't know what it is. Google Firefighter Challenge. You'll find it. But again, thank you all so much, and have a great week and keep owning it.